For years, you thought your fight was against your body. Against hunger. Against the numbers on the scale. You looked in the mirror and saw your enemy there. The reflection of every failure, every broken promise. You tightened your belt, declared war on food, ran on treadmills that took you nowhere. And every time the weight came back, every time you gave in at night, guilt told you the same lie: you are weak. You have no control. But, what if I told you that you've been fighting the wrong war? What if I told you that your body was never the enemy? That food was never the villain? What if I told you that, for your entire life, you've been carrying a passenger, a silent passenger? He doesn't pay a fare. He doesn't say where he wants to go. But he is the one who, so often, takes the wheel. He is the invisible hand that swerves you into the drive-thru when you promise to go home and cook. He is the whisper that tells you just one more until the package is empty. He is the force that pulls you to the couch when you swore you would go for a walk. You feel his presence. You see the results of his actions. But you've never stopped to look in the rearview mirror and ask, who are you? And what are you doing in my car? Today, we're turning on the light. Today, you will finally meet your silent passenger. And most importantly, today, you will learn how to take the wheel back. Forever. So, who is this shadowy figure in the back seat? He isn't a monster. He isn't an evil force. Your silent passenger is an archive. He is the sum of all your wounded parts that you tried to forget. He is the echo of that criticism you heard in childhood that never went away. He is the pain of that rejection in adolescence that taught you that, to be loved, you had to be different. He is the shame of that dressing room, the fatigue of all the failed diets, the anxiety of a world that seems to demand a perfection that doesn't exist. He is made of fear. Fear of not being good enough. Fear of being invisible. And, paradoxically, fear of being seen. Fear of success. Think about it. How many times have you been doing well, losing weight, feeling confident, and suddenly, something happens? An overwhelming binge. A series of excuses not to go to the gym. An act of self-sabotage that seems to come from nowhere. It didn't come from nowhere. It was your passenger. The moment you started to shine, to stand out, to leave your comfort zone, he got scared. He was afraid that if you changed, something dangerous might happen. That you might get hurt again. That you might be rejected again. The silent passenger is your distorted protective instinct. He is the part of you that decided, long ago, that it was safer to remain small. Invisible. In the shadows. Because in the shadows, no one can hurt you. In the shadows, you don't run the risk of failing publicly. He keeps you in a cycle of failure because failure is familiar territory. It's known. And for him, the known, no matter how painful, is always safer than the unknown. Success, attention, a new identity, all of that is terrifying to him. So, he takes the wheel. He uses food as a tranquilizer to calm you down. He uses fatigue as an excuse to keep you still. He uses self-criticism to convince you that you shouldn't even try. His job is to keep you safe in the prison he knows. Do you understand now? The binge is not a character flaw. The procrastination is not laziness. It is an obsolete survival mechanism. It is a wounded part of you trying to protect you in the only way it knows how. The first step to taking control is not to fight the passenger. It is to understand him. It is to stop yelling at him and, for the first time, have a conversation. Look back. Think about the moments you sabotaged yourself. What was happening in your life? Had you received a compliment? Were you close to reaching a goal? Did you have an important presentation at work? Were you starting a new relationship? Often, sabotage happens right after a glimpse of success. The passenger panics. He thinks, danger. She's being noticed. If she's noticed, they might criticize her. If she loses weight, she'll have to deal with attention, new clothes, new expectations. It's too much pressure. Let's go back to what's safe. And what is safe for him? The familiar comfort of food. The isolation of the couch. The numbness that comes after a crisis. It's a desperate attempt to reduce the anxiety of the new. He is not your enemy. He is a frightened museum guard, protecting old exhibits of pain. He doesn't realize the museum is empty, that the danger has passed, and that you are no longer that helpless child. You cannot force him out of the car. Trying to do so is like trying to suppress a thought. The more you fight, the stronger he gets. The fight against him is the reason you feel exhausted. It is the source of all your fatigue. The change doesn't happen with a violent confrontation. It happens with a serene realization. It happens when you, the driver, finally turn to the back seat, look at that shadowy figure, and say, with a calm you didn't know you had, "I see you. I know you're there. I know you're scared and that you're just trying to protect me. Thank you for your service. But I don't need that kind of protection anymore. I'm the driver now. And I know where I'm going." That simple sentence, that acknowledgement, is the beginning of the end of his power over you. Taking the wheel is not a single act. It is a practice. It's a choice you make again and again, in every moment. When the urge to eat out of anxiety arises, you will pause for a second. Instead of fighting, you will acknowledge. Hello, passenger. You're feeling anxious. What are you afraid of right now? You take a deep breath and, as the conscious driver, you choose a different route. Maybe a glass of water. Maybe 5 minutes of silence. Maybe a short walk. You show him there are other ways to handle anxiety. When the voice of self-criticism starts yelling that you're a failure, you won't believe it. You will say, "Passenger, I hear your fear of failing. But my identity is not defined by that." And you, the driver, will focus on one small victory from your day. You take control of your inner narrative. Every time you make a conscious choice, no matter how small, you strengthen the driver muscle. You rewrite the neural pathways in your brain. You teach your passenger, gently, that you are capable of handling life. That success is not dangerous. That happiness is safe. The goal isn't for the passenger to disappear. He is part of your story. The goal is for him to calm down. For him to lean back in his seat, trust you, and perhaps, over time, even start to enjoy the new scenery. He stops being a force of sabotage and becomes just a memory. A part of your story of resilience. This is true control. It's not controlling what you eat. It's controlling who is in charge of your choices. It is the difference between being a reactive passenger in your own life and being the deliberate driver of your destiny. Freedom isn't never wanting a piece of candy again. Freedom is feeling the desire and having the power to choose what to do with it, without guilt and without war. And where are you driving now? Your destination is no longer a number on the scale. That was the direction the passenger wanted to go, a place of external validation. Your new destination is a feeling. It is peace. It is the peace of eating when you're hungry and stopping when you're satisfied. It is the peace of moving your body for joy, not for punishment. It is the peace of looking in the mirror and seeing an ally, a survivor, a friend. It is the peace of knowing that a bad day doesn't define your journey. It is just a detour on the road, not the end of the trip. You spent your whole life trying to fix the car, thinking the problem was the engine or the tires. But the problem was never the vehicle. Your body, this incredible vehicle, was always perfect. The problem was who was trying to drive from the back seat. Today, your fight ends. Not because you gave up, but because you finally understood who, or what, you were fighting against. And you chose peace instead of war. So, place both hands on the wheel of your life. Take a deep breath. Feel the power that was always there. Your silent passenger is in his place. You are in yours. There is an open road ahead of you, full of possibilities you never allowed yourself to dream of. The destination is peace. And the journey starts now. Drive.